So I am wanting to really communicate with my friends who consider themselves apolitical, who consider themselves maybe independent politically. What I want to say to you is this. I know oftentimes it feels really crappy that politics is dirty and everyone's slinging mud at each other. And it's really tempting to think that both parties are the same, that it doesn't make a difference who's in power in Washington because everyone is bought out by corporations or everyone's only out there for their best interest. That's really not true. And the way that we can know that is by looking at a couple of things that are happening right now, specifically in regards to the repeal of Dodd-Frank and what's going on with the Affordable Care Act. So I'm not going to try to use any more fancy words, but basically the repeal of Dodd-Frank is the Republican Party saying they want to roll back some of the rules that were put in place after the recession. So during the recession, financial firms on Wall Street took a lot of risks, really dangerous risks, and it threw our entire economy into chaos. And if you're like me, I suffered the consequences. I assume you did too. Everyone in our generation got kind of screwed with our jobs, with our ability to purchase homes. It was really terrible. So I don't think I have to convince you of that. But basically, at that time, Obama and the Democrats put some rules in place to ensure that this kind of stuff doesn't happen again, that there's some kind of accountability on Wall Street. And what is happening right now is that the House Republicans decided that we don't need that anymore, that they have faith that Wall Street, they learned their lesson, or maybe they didn't do anything wrong in the first place, and we don't need to have any guardrails up to protect American consumers. So just so you know, if you're concerned about your income, you're concerned about anything regarding the economy, this is a major, major red flag, and you should know that not a single Democrat voted in support of repealing it in the House, and all but one of the Republicans voted to remove these rules. So if you think that the parties are the same, they're really, really not. And when we look at the Affordable Care Act, when we're looking at what everyone calls Obamacare, we're looking at this, and what we're seeing is this terrible, terrible bill put forward by the House Republicans, which they passed without even having deliberations on it, without knowing what it was going to do to the American people in terms of coverage or cost. I mean, really terrible stuff. The stuff that they ironically were upset with the Democrats about. But it wasn't even to this scale. But it looks like the Senate Republicans, they are going to present their own version of this bill. It's going to be probably not as terrible as what is going on in the House of Representatives, but it's still going to take away a lot of the really important protections that we have. So if you think that, for example, maternity coverage is something that all insurance companies should cover, this bill is going to take that away. It's going to take away healthcare access from millions of people. So if you're somebody who thinks, well, I want to be able to have my gun, great, that's fine, have your gun. But if you're someone who thinks that every person should have a right to access to healthcare, that we shouldn't have to choose between paying our bills and being able to live, it's literally a matter of life and death. So I want you to understand why I'm so passionate about this, and understand that I don't want to be an activist. I don't want to be spending my time doing this. I have a baby. I have other things I want to do. I want to have other hobbies. But it's so important to me that other human beings aren't suffering, that my own family isn't suffering. My family, we have pre-existing conditions. Hell, even my baby has a pre-existing condition. And you know what? Republicans don't seem to care. And that to me is just unconscionable. So I hope that you'll think about what I'm saying, and if for some reason this moves you in any way or convinces you to think a little bit differently, I just encourage you, use your voice, speak up. I'm not telling you to stop being a Republican or stop being an independent or stop being, I guess I am telling you to stop being apathetic. But what I'm trying to tell you is it's too important to do nothing.